There's been a bunch of board game news. I looked away from the internet for like 10 days and all of a sudden there's more announcements than a sentient bulletin board in a megaphone factory. Hello, I'm Matthew and this is the What You Played Gaming News. Up first, we have the announcement of 3 expansions, 3 for Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition that Stronghold Games will be bringing to Kickstarter any day now. Ares Expedition is the sequel to Terraforming Mars. It's commonly referred to as Terraforming Mars, the card game, even though it has less cards than Terraforming Mars, the board game, and it also has a board. But it's also blooming fantastic. And personally, for me at least, it's replaced its big brother. And these new expansions, Crisis, Foundation and Discovery, will each be adding new elements either individually or in a bundle boxed version. Crisis adds in a cooperative way to play as players work together to keep Mars habitable after a natural disaster has landed the planet in, well, crisis. Well, lots of crises. There's a new crisis card will be drawn every round that will require you as a team to reach a certain goal to remove that crisis from play. And each turn that crisis card is not completely dealt with, it lowers one or more of the terraforming ratings that you've been working so hard to push up. The Discovery expansion adds awards, milestones, upgraded phase cards and wild tags. Essentially, it's the expansion that adds more, and Foundations contains everything you need to play up to 6 players, as well as a 4th terraforming metric to work on with infrastructure. So keep your eyes peeled for the Kickstarter if any of that sounds good to you. But talking of expansions, here's a commercial. What a graceful segue. Gather your courage, pack your sword and roll the dice in Dungeons, Dice and Danger, a roll and write game from Ilya in which you'll explore dangerous dungeons in your insatiable search for treasure and glory. Roll well to make your way through with 4 unique and beautifully illustrated realms, annoyed animals, defiant dinosaurs, puzzled pyramids and clumsy cultists. Dungeons, Dice and Danger also includes a solo option allowing players to face dizzying design dungeon dangers of their own, designed by legendary designer Richard Garfield and illustrated by Cam Kendall. Dungeons, Dice and Danger becomes available in April at Amazon and your friendly local game stores. Follow the link in this video's description to pre-order it now and continue exploring this fan favourite universe in a fresh, new direction. You know, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop to look around once in a while, you might fly your cargo plane through a portal, transporting you to a rugged landscape filled with bizarre creatures, scheming gods, and untold peril. At least that's the setup for Sleeping Gods Distant Skies, which was announced as a standalone sequel to the Red Raven's 1-to-4 player game mega hit Sleeping Gods. And as in the original game, you and your friends trek through a vast landscape, reading branching storylines with a motley crew of characters. In this new game, your focus is even more on discovery. It looks like you're camping and exploring, overcoming obstacles and searching for lost relics, all with a new action system and a new take on combat. And while Distant Skies builds on and is referential to the original Sleeping Gods, you don't have to have played that to play this sequel. And I'm a pretty new convert to Ryan Locket's games, and this is a cool 1930s vibe to it. And gosh, does it look good on the draft page on GameFound, which is up now, ready for the project to launch in about 3 weeks. For something profoundly different, Dead by Daylight, the board game, was announced by Level 99 Games for a Kickstarter launch on March 29th and a retail release in October this year. Dead by Daylight is a very popular video game where you and 3 friends all attempt to outwit and outplay a villain who also might be one of your friends as you fix generators while trying to escape the bad guy and their unique set of skills. It's a 1 versus many video game where 5 people can all play together, taking in turns to play different roles as you rack up experience points to spend on upgrading your abilities. Big announcements in the Dead by Daylight world normally take on the form of a new baddie entering the fray, from classic killers to Pinhead and Freddy Krueger. The game also includes a lot of rope-a-doping, shimmying and mild general trolling of your friends. But this announcement is the board game version, where 3 to 5 players play as a team of resourceful survivors who face off against a single supernatural killer. As a survivor, you'll explore the trial grounds, discover props and utilise your perks as you work to uncover and repair the generators and repair 4 to open the exits towards which you'll run like all get out to all get out, and one player will be the bad guy hunting down the survivors. Both the killers and the survivors both have perks that grant them special abilities, and experienced players can customise their character with various perk configurations, and the base game comes with 7 survivors, 6 killers, 2 maps, with a lot more on offer, as you'll see over on the Kickstarter page. There's Disney news because, let's be honest, there's always Disney news. First, we have the op bringing us Smash Up Disney Edition, where 2 to 4 players will each choose 2 decks to smash together. It's a wrong hand gesture, to see if your unique pairing of powers will be enough to take over the bases you're fighting for to earn enough points to win the game. And in this Disney edition, those decks, which is the important thing, is what we care about, those decks are going to be Frozen, Big Hero 6, Wreck-It Ralph, The Lion King, Mulan, Aladdin, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and Beauty and the Beast. If you like Disney or you just love Smash Up, more content is a safe bet, so look out for this one this summer. And Ravensburger announced Star Wars as the theme for the new standalone Villainous set, with Star Wars Villainous Power of the Dark Side following on from the Marvel and Disney versions coming before it. In the game, 2 to 4 players take control of one of 5 Star Wars characters as Darth Vader, Asajj Ventress, Kylo Ren, Moff Gideon, and General Grievous, and you play by moving to different locations to use cards as different items or effects as you try to manipulate the game towards your unique winning condition. Normally that takes on the gameplay of foiling the plans of the others by using your villain's unique abilities, and in this version players can also use their villain's ambition to perform actions that power effects based on that villain's use of the Force, strategic leadership, or sheer luck. And yeah, even I can admit that that's a pretty good box cover. It's ominous. I like it. So expect to see it on shelves in the late summer. This next game, Empire's End, had 3 massive check marks next to it for me. It's designed by John D. Clare, it's got Kwanchai Moria on the art, and it's coming from Brotherwise Games. And that to me sounds pretty close to perfect, honestly. In Empire's End, you lead a grand civilization at the height of its influence, but can you save it from collapse? Maybe, but you better believe you'll be trying to use the game's pairing of reverse bidding and engine building to do so. During the disaster phase, which is also the nickname I gave to my love life, players will face a common threat such as famine, a flood, or barbarians. And the player who ends the bidding must take the disaster, which devastates one of their territories, which is a bad thing, but resources bid by all players will end up in the hands of the player who ultimately takes the disaster card. The player also gains a new ability, an innovation that reflects their empire's ability to adapt in the face of challenging times. This is cool. This sounds cool to me. So you want bids to go up, but you want them to go up so much that when you take the card, it's worth taking the disaster. I'm very, very interested in this one. It's the merger of people and companies that I like, and it sounds really good. Though there's no release date yet, other than 2022. So I'm looking forward to finding out more. Parks is getting a new expansion with Parks Wildlife. The original Parks as players traversing the beautiful American national parks, getting points. It's wonderful, and this latest expansion adds more. It has all new artwork from Tom Whalen and the 59 Parks print series, including the newest National Park edition, New River Gorge, and it's literally being described as the More expansion. Look here on the Board Game Geek page. This expansion is the More expansion. Get ready for the new trail sites, fresh canteens, new gear, and more season cards. Also, there's a wandering bison now, which I will be referring to as a moose on the loose. I think that's an opportunity they've missed, but I love Parks. Keymaster Games make fantastic products, and there's no way this will be any different. If you've seen the insert for Caper Europe, it's velour. It's so nice. Also, what is wrong with people? How difficult is it to release your news on my schedule? because I saw the announcement on Twitter like 10 minutes before filming this, all about My Island, the sequel to the masterpiece light legacy game My City from Cosmos and Ryan Knichi, a game I love so much. I got 2 copies of it because I was worried that I'd want to play through the whole experience again in like 10 years and I wouldn't be able to find it. And so I was like, well, I get another copy. And now it doesn't matter because there's a sequel, My Island, and I'm very, very excited. In My City, we play through 24 episodes of tile laying with new rules and twists being added with every game, and it's incredible. And now we have My Island, a new competitive legacy game in which you will develop your own unique island, but instead of Tetris-style pieces, this time it's hexagons. You genius. Over 24 games, we are each told we will experience the history of our islands and discover its secrets, with each of the new individual games featuring new rules and pieces with which you play and will permanently change your island. And I'm so excited about this, and it's going to be released later this year. And Catan Studios have teased a new game in the Catan line with Catan Dawn of Humankind to be released later this year. And while they are keeping their cards close to their chest because they have all the sheep that I need, they won't admit it. Was that a good joke? It's pretty hard to tell. No? How are we leaning? Their press release tells us that Catan returns to the prehistoric era with this upcoming title. Experience the dawn of humankind as you guide the journey of the human family tree from its roots in Africa to the far reaches of the globe. There have been a lot of standalone Catan games, such as Struggle for Rome, Starfarers, Settlers of America, just to name a few. And it's always cool to see what the father of modern hobby games is getting up to. So, yeah. I like Catan, and I'm excited about this. And that's the news. But there's no need to get off the watch it played train just yet. The next stop could be one of these videos. Here's On the Radar, which was filmed live at Aircon. It's got all of us in it, and it was a lot of fun. And we'll see you over there. Bye, everyone.